Gentlemen, there are women in this world who feel like an electrifying storm, dazzling, breathtaking, and capable of sweeping you off your feet. But chasing that storm will leave your spirit as shattered as a shipwreck. This isn't about their appearance, it's about the deep, unseen cracks in their emotional foundation. We've been taught to believe that love is enough to heal anyone, that if you give her enough sunlight, enough water, enough of your own soul, she will somehow bloom and fill her own emptiness. But here's the hard truth. If she hasn't faced her demons, those emotional wounds won't just be voids. They will become black holes, pulling in everything you give, swallowing it whole, and leaving nothing behind. This isn't about blaming women. It's about empowering you to protect your purpose, your peace, and your power from relationships that will strip them away. Today, I'm going to share 7 ways to identify these kinds of relationships so you can step into love with wisdom, not just emotion. Because a high-value man doesn't play the hero. He makes a conscious choice. The emotional bottomless pit. Have you ever felt like a full-time emotional concierge, always on call, but whose service is never fully appreciated or enough? No matter how many times you show up, no matter how much emotional support you provide, it never feels like you've moved the needle. On the surface, she might be going through a tough time. She might tell you about a difficult childhood or a painful breakup, and you, being the good man you are, want to be the hero who finally gives her the stability she's been looking for. But here's the problem. You can't fill a leaky cistern with a single bucket. These women are in a constant state of taking because their emotional wounds have consumed every ounce of their energy. They've been hurt so deeply, they're convinced the only way to survive is to keep receiving, even if it's at your expense. At first, you feel needed, a pillar of strength. But soon, you realize you're not a pillar. You're a prop. Every conversation becomes a monologue about her pain. She shows little to no interest in your life, your problems, or your needs. Her questions are perfunctory, a formality rather than a genuine inquiry. And here's the most dangerous part. The more you give, the more she expects. You'll start to feel drained, frustrated, maybe even resentful. When you try to step back, she'll use her past pain as a weapon to make you feel guilty for not being there for her. That's when you realize this isn't love. It's dependency disguised as connection. Gentlemen, listen to me. You are not a rehabilitation center for a heart that refuses to heal itself. You can stand by a woman as she heals, but you cannot be the one doing the healing for her. If her needs are a recurring subscription and her gratitude is a fleeting discount, you're not building a partnership. You're servicing a never-ending debt. The Queen of Chaos. Gentlemen, peace is not a slow walk. It's the solid ground you build a life on. But if you meet a woman who doesn't know what peace feels like, she will destroy it every single time you give it to her. This is the Queen of Chaos. You'll recognize her quickly if you pay attention. In the early stages, she's exciting, unpredictable, full of energy. She feels like an adventure. But what you don't realize yet is that her energy is fueled by conflict, tension, and emotional turbulence. The calm moments make her restless. She feels uncomfortable in stability because her whole life has been storms. Here's how it plays out. Things are going great. You've had a good week together, laughter, affection, maybe even a few deep conversations. But then, out of nowhere, she throws a conversational grenade, a veiled accusation, an offhand comment about a male colleague, or an ambiguous text that forces you to ask, "What was that about?" This isn't an accident for her. Chaos is normal. Drama is oxygen. And if she can't find it, she will create it. Because in her mind, intensity equals passion, and calm equals boredom. The problem for you as a man is that this constant state of emergency erodes your mental clarity. You start second-guessing yourself. You're always on edge, bracing for the next argument. You can't focus on your purpose because you're too busy managing her storms. And this, gentlemen, is where high-value men lose themselves. A queen of chaos might even apologize after every blow-up, swearing she'll change. But the cycle always repeats, and each time a piece of your peace is stolen. My advice: don't fall for the thrill of a hurricane. A mature relationship should feel like a safe harbor. If she thrives in the storm, she'll pull you under with her, and she won't even notice. Protect your peace at all costs. The validation addict. Gentlemen, let's talk about a woman whose entire self-worth is a house built on borrowed land, and she needs an army of strangers to keep it from collapsing. This is the validation addict. You will never be enough for her because a single man cannot provide the constant, overwhelming flood of reassurance she requires. In the beginning, it feels flattering. She lights up when you compliment her. She's giddy when you notice her outfit, her hair, her smile. But here's the trap. She's not looking for love. She's looking for an endless supply of reassurance. And the moment you slow down, she will search for it elsewhere. You'll notice it in the way she lives on social media. Her social media isn't a digital photo album. It's a public auction for her self-esteem. Every comment, every like, is a new bid. This isn't always about looks. It's about a deep emotional hunger. Maybe she grew up feeling invisible, but instead of healing, she's trying to fill the void with the constant rush of being desired. The problem for you as a man is that this becomes a competition you can never win because you're playing against hundreds of other men. And she likes it that way. The more eyes on her, the more alive she feels. Here's the truth. A woman addicted to validation will treat your love like a baseline, not a blessing. She'll always need more, and she'll resent you if you can't give it on demand. This constant performance of attention will drain you. Gentlemen, a high-value man doesn't stand in line for attention. He earns it with his presence and purpose. If a woman needs the world to affirm her, you will only ever be a temporary mirror, not her home. The disappearing mirror. Gentlemen, some women don't fall in love with you. They fall in love with the reflection of themselves in the sunlight of your success. This is the disappearing mirror. When you meet her, she seems to be your perfect counterpart, mirroring your energy, your interests, and your dreams. You think, finally, someone who sees me. But here's the truth. She's not reflecting your soul. She's reflecting your benefits. She studies you. She figures out what you like, how you think, and what makes you feel good. And she gives you exactly that, for a while. But the moment your giving slows down, when you stop spending as much, stop planning all the dates, her interest begins to fade. It's like watching a battery drain. The vibrant, engaged partner from the beginning becomes distant and aloof. The connection wasn't plugged into you, it was plugged into what you provided. You were the source of her excitement, her security, maybe even her status. And once that supply weakens, the mirror goes blank. This isn't love. Love stays even when the season is dry. The disappearing mirror can't do that because she has no reflection of her own. She needs yours to survive. The danger here is subtle. You may find yourself constantly working harder to keep her attention, thinking you just need to try more. You'll start competing with yourself, trying to top your last gesture just to get back the warmth she once showed you. But it's never sustainable. Gentlemen, understand this. A woman who vanishes when the resources diminish is showing you her truth. Her interest was never in you, only in the reflection of her own needs being met. Find a woman who can see your worth even in the shadows, because real love doesn't dim when the gifts stop. It finds new light. The forever victim. Gentlemen, when you meet a woman who lives in a constant state of poor me, you aren't entering a relationship. You are entering a lifelong trial where you will forever be the defendant. This is the forever victim. You'll know her by the way every story starts the same. Someone hurt her, someone betrayed her, someone ruined her plans. It's never her fault. The world is always against her. At first, you'll feel protective. You'll want to be her safe place. You'll think, maybe if I love her enough, she'll finally feel secure. But here's the hard truth. The forever victim doesn't want resolution. She wants repetition. Her pain is not just a memory, it's her identity. If she stops being the victim, she has to face the fact that she's in control of her choices, and that level of responsibility terrifies her. In the beginning, this might seem harmless. You listen, you comfort, you reassure. But over time, you'll notice something. She doesn't just share her pain, she uses it as a shield. She uses her history as a get-out-of-jail-free card to excuse her own temper or inaction. She convinces you that you're the selfish one when you ask for more. The trap is this. You start carrying her pain as if it's your own. You adjust your behavior to avoid triggering her. You sacrifice your boundaries so she won't feel hurt. Compassion is a strength. Enabling is a slow form of self-sabotage. A woman who refuses to heal will drain you dry while convincing you that you're the selfish one. Remember this. A high-value man doesn't stay stuck in the same story. He grows, and he needs a partner who grows with him. The forever victim isn't looking for a partner. She's looking for a permanent caretaker. Don't sign up for a job with no promotion, no rest, and no finish line. The love bomber gentleman. Some women will sweep you off your feet so quickly you'll think you've finally found your soulmate. They'll text you all day, call you every night, plan dates, shower you with compliments. But it's not a gentle tide. It's an emotional tidal wave. This is the love bomber. And here's the trap. It's not sustainable. Love bombing isn't love. It's a high-speed emotional performance designed to hook you before you can think. Once she feels she has you, the act fades. The warmth disappears, and the person you fell for is suddenly gone. At first, you'll blame yourself. You'll think, did I do something wrong? Did I stop being interesting? But the truth is, her early behavior was never about genuine connection. It was about control. The love bomber turns into a stranger because her initial affection was fueled by excitement, not depth. When the relationship moves past the honeymoon stage and into the real work of love, she runs out of tools. She withdraws. She becomes distant. This emotional whiplash is dangerous because it leaves you chasing the version of her that no longer exists. You'll try harder. You'll plan bigger gestures. You'll overinvest in hopes of getting her back to the way she was in the beginning. But that version of her was never real. It was bait. The pattern is always the same. Intense beginnings, sharp withdrawals, and a trail of confused partners wondering what happened. Gentlemen, real love isn't a flash flood that dries up without warning. Real love is a steady river that carves a deeper path over time. If a woman's affection burns bright and fast, then suddenly turns cold, don't cling to the memory of the fire. Accept the reality of the ice.